It's a DEI miracle. Kamala Harris has apparently earned enough delegate support to win the Democrat nomination. That is, unless there's another twist or turn to the story, before the virtual convention in early August, when the delegates actually placed their votes. Which is extremely bizarre because not only is she very unlikable, but many within her own party have serious doubts that she would be able to do any better than old Joe in November. And so they wanted an open convention where a bunch of different candidates would battle it out, or just have the delegates just vote for Gavin Newsom in order to try to win the election for the Democrats. But old Joe may have thrown a wrench in their plans. Stay tuned for that. And just a few days ago, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez did an hour-long live stream on Instagram where she admitted that there's an obvious power struggle going on within the Democrat Party, and many of them wanted to get rid of old Joe and Kamala and then have the delegates at the convention anoint Gavin Newsom. She said this.
I'm just going to say it. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken. And I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them. I'm in these rooms. I see what they say in conversations. A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president. They are interested in removing the whole ticket.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. But because of the ruthless power struggle going on within the Democrat Party, one of the factions threw a wrench in the plans of the other one. Because when somebody wrote this letter and then forged old Joe's name on it and posted it on his Twitter account saying that he was ending his re-election campaign on Sunday, there was no reference to endorsing Kamala Harris or any indication whatsoever that she would be taking over as the frontrunner for the DNC. And it was only a half an hour later that finally another tweet got posted saying that old Joe fully endorses Kamala to be the nominee of the party. And so it looks like this tweet was posted from another faction, which then completely derailed the plans to get rid of both of them, because if old Joe endorsed his VP, which wasn't the plan, that completely cut off the possibility or the likelihood of having an open primary, because the infighting within the Democrat Party would be so immense, it would tear them apart. And here's another possibility. This could have been posted by loyal old Joe staffers who didn't want him to get forced out. And then they didn't want to go along with the open convention. And so they endorsed Kamala for him, or convinced him to endorse her, because then if she loses against Donald Trump, because she is a bumbling buffoon, a laughing hyena, then it will cast doubt on the ones who were pushing old Joe to step down. If only Joe stayed in the race, maybe he could have pulled it off, they'll say. And now the liberal media is having a complete meltdown over us daring to criticize Kamala because she's a black woman. She's above reproach.
You can see how quickly they tried to steal the unity narrative. And I've heard from inside Republican circles and right-wing media.
We're trying to steal their unity, she says.
That the hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. You'll notice they purposefully pronounce her name wrong. They say Kamala. They do it all the time. It is on purpose. But the talk is to start that hate campaign and get it going and start it churning.
I'm sorry, lady, but nobody needed to give me any cue or any orders to hate Kamala Harris. That came completely natural years ago. That's literally the new talking point, is if you call her Kamala Harris, like I've been doing, I think, for years. I don't even care how you pronounce her name. And I know Tucker likes to mispronounce people's names as well. That's the new talking point from the Democrats, is now that's hate speech.
I think it's a good time to try and get this pronunciation right once and for all. I tell you what, it's not. It is not Kamala Harris. It is not Kamala Harris. It is Kamala Harris, according to her own memoir in 2019.
Okay, whatever. They're going to really start getting upset about all the memes. Memes like this.
So what did you do to become the presidential nominee of your party?
Well, sometimes you just have to hawk Tua and spit on that thing, you know?
If you don't know what that means, don't feel like you're out of touch. I'm not even going to explain it. Just be glad that you don't spend too much of your time on Twitter. Of course, during the Republican presidential debates, Vivek Ramaswamy said out loud what was quite obvious to many of us for years.
I also want to close with one message to the Democrat Party. End this farce that Joe Biden is going to be your nominee. We know he's not even the president of the United States. He's a puppet for the managerial class. So have the guts to step up and be honest about who you're actually going to put up so we can have an honest debate. Biden should step aside, end his candidacy now so we can see whether it's Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever else.
All right,
just
Mr.
tell us the
Ramaswamy,
truth so we can have an honest debate.
And so now this is the Twilight Zone that we're living in, where this creature may very well be the front runner against Donald Trump in November.
What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. They make really bad decisions.
Well, that is true, but I mean, what's next? Is Kamala Harris going to call for lowering the voting age then? Oh, wait, what's this?
Do you believe that Americans should have the right to vote at age 16?
I'm really interested in having that conversation.
Meanwhile, we haven't seen any proof of life from old Joe in a week now, since he was supposedly diagnosed with COVID, even though he is quadruple vaxxed, or is it octo-vaxxed now by this time? And so then a Las Vegas hospital went on standby to treat Joe Biden because he had COVID again. He got it the first time back in 2022, despite being triple vaxxed at the time. And why would a hospital be on standby to treat old Joe for COVID when he is quadruple vaxxed? And they used to tell us this.
If you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
So there are rumors swirling from people that claim to have sources close to people at the hospital or close to the Las Vegas PD who say that something else happened here to old Joe. And so, of course, the internet's supposed fact checkers, the fact suppressors, pounced in order to denounce the unfounded rumor, which claims that old Joe had an undisclosed medical emergency in Vegas. I wouldn't be surprised if they used this fancy little device on him with a low dose of something, which was uncovered during the Operation Mockingbird hearings back in the mid-1970s. Take a look.
There's no question about it. It was also for offensive reasons. No question.
Have you brought with you some of those devices which would have enabled the CIA to use this poison for?
We have indeed.
For killing people?
Or incapacitating them, or giving them minor strokes, mini strokes, or heart attacks. There it is, in a congressional hearing,
Don't
the CIA's rumored frozen poison dart gun. Another conspiracy fact. Oh, and by the way, you can still save 20% off it in my shirts at markdice.com, including the new Fight for Trump shirt and the Trumpomania shirt by using the promo code HEATWAVE20 at the checkout. It's a promo code that my distributor came up with. I know it's not exactly the most creative promo code, but it will work. It will save you 20% off through, I think it's Thursday. The email said to Friday. It didn't say through Friday, so I'm assuming it ends on Thursday. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Enter the promo code HEATWAVE20 at the checkout to save 20% off anything, and check them out.